1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
It is POSTCAST. I honestly don't know what to say. The Jazz led by 17 going to the fourth quarter, and they lost.
So
that's only happened 15 times all year, and the Jazz have done 4 of them, and I think they've done 3 of them in like the last month. We'll talk about it coming up on POSTCAST. David Locke and Ron Boone with you after the Utah Jazz on a final home game of the regular season play brilliant. I mean brilliant 36 minutes. Lead 92-75. And should we maybe only talk about that?
About the first 3 quarters?
Like maybe we should pretend that we are a hockey team.
Yeah.
I think that would be great. Let's pretend that we are in the NHL.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the first period, we trailed 30-24. At the end of the second period, we led 57-54, and then we ran away with it in the third period. The score of 92-75. Let's give out our 3 stars. Let's talk about the goalie work of Hassan Whiteside and Rudy Gobert, the stick play of Daniel House, and not discuss the fourth quarter, Ron.
Then I think we just, well, if we're going to do it that way, but we don't give our chat line a chance to vent.
And you think that's our
they deserve the vent.
Societal service?
Yes, they deserve the vent.
If you were a Jet, let's pretend we're in the broadcast tonight. You made a comment about something about like, I said like the crowd loves it and you're like, we love it too. I'm like, no, I'm a part of the crowd now because it's playoff time. So if you were part of the crowd, what would you be saying as you left tonight?
I'd be so disappointed, and it'd be different for me though, David, because I'm a little bit closer to the team. I know the game. So if I look at it from out of the eyes of a fan, how would I look at this? I'd be disappointed. I would be probably one of those fans that would nitpick, and I would single out individual players and run with it.
Particularly if you had an individual player you might not like. And you really go after that one.
Right.
In the glass half full category, I'd like to introduce you to Jeff Borden.
Hi, Jeff.
And here's what Jeff has to say.
At least they're consistent.
At least they're consistent. It's really incredible. I mean, Ron, what's just so insane about the Warrior loss and this one, you could see it coming. Like,
yeah.
And like as an announcer, you're calling it, and like you actually call the moment in which the panic is set in. Like I literally said it on the broadcast tonight. Now the temperature, the angst temperature is all the way up. Like you could see the moment, and you can see them no longer play basketball anywhere, like in any way, shape, or form to the way they were playing basketball before.
So when you get in a situation like that, you tighten up, and you hear this a lot. And boy, I tell you what, it's so true. When you're playing not to lose, and that's when you make so many mistakes because you're trying to play without making mistakes, and you lose so many parts of the game. You lose the game plan. You start pressing as far as shots are concerned, and now your defense struggles there as well. It's amazing how that happens, but playing not to lose is something that just lose basketball games for you.
I think everyone had their moments, but tonight it's an offensive problem. The Jazz they score a field goal at the 7:50 mark, and they do not score another field goal until Mike Conley gets kind of a gimme, right? Like they basically gave him a field goal. Donovan has been struggling offensively in the clutch, Ron, for quite a while. If we stem it back to February, he's shooting 11 of 49 in the clutch and 2 of 19 from 3. If we just take it actually just to March 1, it's kind of it's the same story. If we take it to the last 3 weeks, March 17th through here, where a lot of these losses have gone, his numbers are not much. They're really. I mean, you can't be that. He's 3 of his last counting tonight. I don't believe this counts tonight. So tonight he's now 3 of his last 23 in the clutch. He's 0 of his last 6 from 3. I mean, I don't want to just put it on Don. There's other guys, but honestly, clutch basketball gets down to like Kevin Durant making shots, Luka Doncic making shots, Devin Booker making shots. Like, we need more ball movement. We need to run. There's a lot of things we need to do differently. We need more energy. But, like, Donovan's got to actually be able to make a play, or else you can't score in the clutch. Are you seeing him get different looks? Are you seeing him not get as good looks? Are you seeing anything? And, like, is there anything we can do for him? I mean, that's the thing that's so brutal here. Is like there is not another chance to do this before the playoffs.
Some of the shots that he's shooting they look the same. The way he's getting to the spots looks the same. That little the when he penetrates and hits it high off the glass, he's been struggling with that there as well. And so he's just starting to get to the point where I think he's pressing a lot. You mentioned his body language when he missed a shot there.
Oh, it was from the really obvious tonight.
David, from the 3-point line, he was 1 for 4 tonight. So in the last 5 ball games, he's 10 for 37 from the 3-point line. So that is really a struggle, and it has to start sitting in your head. And being a guy that shot a lot and experienced situations like this, you start trying to go back to mechanics, making sure your mechanics are the same, your follow through is the same, and all that kind of stuff. You see him out here early shooting. There's times on the road where he'll go find a gym and shoot. Then it's kind of hard, and hopefully he gets back into a groove. But I think he needs a couple of ball games and not just one.
And we don't have a couple games. It's hard. Andy wants to know if we should talk about winning time instead.
Yeah.
Why don't you give me your winning time quote? It's a really good quote.
About the disclaimer?
Yeah.
Well, I understand why the disclaimer is there, because it's and they explain it very clearly that this is a lot of this is fictional, and they just had me being a bad boy, didn't they? That's not good.
You were so calm about this. I would be so pissed.
But the thing is, from watching and continue to watch it, because I wasn't going to watch it, I didn't care less. But I had so many people calling me about it, so many tweets and texts and all that kind of stuff. So I watched it, and it got to the point where it's kind of entertaining, just knowing that it was all about Jerry Buss, the owner of the Los Angeles Lakers, and his lifestyle and how he put the team together and on a shoestring, and the help he had, the vision that he had, and the things that he was doing. Now we're seeing every team in the NBA do it, as far as as far as dancers and the type of outfits that they wear and all that kind of stuff. So it's kind of entertaining.
All right, question from Scott. This is a learning experience. I listened to the game. I was wondering if some of our players needed more rest so they could play better in the fourth. We were going against the best team, and I'm sure the players are disappointed on how it turned out. Sorry, I'm going to get the rest of this message. Was JC in the game at the end? We couldn't buy a bucket. Is there anything else? Because Donovan's having a bad fourth quarter. Donovan's shooting 30% in the fourth quarter since the All-Star break, 20% from 3. Is he tired? Is he not capable of trying to play the defense he's playing since he came back from his concussion and being an offensive player?
It could be. I don't know. You have to. This is something that as many coaches that they have, and strength and conditioning coaches, and as much help and opportunities that they have for so many different things, and it's really hard to say. We'd have to talk to them to see, but. We did notice at one time a lot of those shots was coming up short, hitting the front of the rim.
Someone asked, is Donovan in his head? Donovan cares. Donovan cares badly and wants to do well and wants to win and wants to be a positive asset. So I don't know if he's in the head or not, but is he probably having a hard time sleeping? Is he probably thinking about this all the time? Is he probably not want to go to the grocery store because he's doesn't want to go? Yes, he cares a great deal on how he does as a player, and he wants to succeed both out of professional pride and for the fans and for his teammate. It cannot feel good to walk into the practice tomorrow and get on the plane with your teammates tomorrow when you are in this kind of a slump. They know yeah.
Yeah.
In his head, I don't know what that means, but he
They,
cares.
every player on this team has gone through this.
Right.
Every player on this team has gone through. I don't care if it was high school, college, or at this level. Every team has gone through it. It's a heck of a feeling. I mean, it's really frustrates you. It's like a 5-foot putt in golf, and to the point where you choke. And I'm not saying Donovan's choking, but what I mean by you short, you don't follow through, you don't putt and it never gets there. I mean, that type of thing. It's just because it's all on you. It's tough.
All right, tough one.
Yep.
A lot of second half lost leads. We agree. We'll see what happens in the playoffs. We'll go get Portland. Kevin Pelton's going to join us on the broadcast from Portland, talk about all the playoffs, everything else. We'll have a third person in the booth for us in Portland. So make sure you tune in the radio broadcast that night. We'll have a lot of fun. See you.